Hey, welcome back to Blade and Brush, everyone. I'm Mike, your wet shaver, back with another video, a bittersweet one today because today is what would have been my dad's 87th birthday. He passed away in November of 2014, a couple of months after his 76th birthday and several months after losing a leg to gangrene. He had caught a secondary pneumonia infection in the hospital while recovering, and the trauma from the surgeries and the illness and the woefully inadequate treatment by Fairview Hospital ultimately did him in, roughly 10 years after it almost did him in on related health issues. So, today was his birthday, and days like today I'm especially sad because I still miss him, and there's a lot of unprocessed traumas surrounding not just the circumstances of his passing, but a lot of other stuff. But I'm not going to focus on all that today. I'm going to try and remember the good and leave the sorrow and other stuff in the past. So if I seem a little bit weepy or depressed, that's why. But we're going to go ahead and do a shave, kind of celebrating his life and sharing some memories with him from my childhood. So let's go ahead and get started. As you probably could tell from the thumbnail, today we're doing Cider House 5 by Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. This is a CK6 formula. And this is one of those full body collections that I've got. So I've got the bath soap, the shampoo puck, the deodorant, as well as all the shave stuff. So let's get my beard prep continued. I did degrease it in the shower, but that has to come off. So we're going to go ahead and do it again. Yeah, I'm a May baby. I was born in May. But my earliest memories are of autumn. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to do this shave today using PAA. Because it's a middle of September now. Autumn starts in about a week or so. Now I've already gone ahead and filled my brush scuttle and soap scuttle. So right now I'm just loading my brush so I can do the lather. And this is the Amber Aerolite shave brush. As you can see, the handle is a rich, deep color amber with a, I don't want to call it completely opaque, but it's fairly opaque black part. And then you've got the skunk pattern where it's got the black bristles ending in white tips. It reminds me of a skunk anyway, but it's a nice kind of Halloween-y fall color scheme. That gets some of the soap off my fingers. But yeah, my dad suffered back injuries. He was a butcher at Heinen's, working in the meat department there when he slipped on a wet floor and injured his back. That unfortunately put him out of commission and cost him his job, which led to a decades-long battle with workers' comp and all that stuff. But after he left Heinen's, or was forced out due to his injuries, He ended up as an assistant manager. I think it was front of house manager at Denny's restaurant. My memory's a bit fuzzy because it was like 45 years ago. But he was working as a manager at Denny's, and fall, especially around Halloween times, there used to be Halloween parties for the kids, myself, my younger brother. Also, I think whenever customers or friends of his rented out the private dining area for their Halloween parties, my brother and I got to take part. Because why not, you know? There are benefits to being the son of the manager at Denny's, like being able to participate in Halloween parties. When I got old enough, I also liked to play some of the arcade games because Denny's, at least when I was a kid, I haven't been to one in quite a while, but they used to have like an arcade game console, so like either Burger Time or Q*bert or Dig Dug, you know, something like that. And they changed up every now and then. But fall is one of the earliest seasons I remember, and I think it was one of my dad's favorite seasons too, because all the leaves start changing color. And then you go on fall excursions through the park, trips to Mapleside Farms, or as my dad called it, Johnny Appleseeds, because when I was a kid, Maplesides sold primarily apples and had all these fields and fields of apple trees. Still does, I think, mostly, but I think a lot of the apple trees are off-site now. But if you ever get over to Mapleside Farms, I think it's over in Brunswick or Brunswick, Ohio. It used to be quite the road trip. And it still is quite pleasant. In fact, they should be starting their fall festival right about now. I mean, holidays always were Dad's favorite. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, those were the feast holidays. The weather was appropriate to lots of baking. Of course, around Christmas time, because my dad, when I was really little, in fact, actually well into my teens, he was part of the local kennel club because he used to be a dog breeder. His breeds were Samoyeds and Japanese Chins. And in fact, he had a Japanese Chin named Bonnie, a male, who was apparently quite dear to him. because after Bonnie died, my dad had the dog's ashes cremated and he kept them in a jar in his office. We called it an office. It was more like a spare room within the downstairs part of the house. Used mainly for storage and where we kept the cat litter box when I was growing up. All right, so took off all that growth using that very slick soap. Yeah, the blade in the razor is the Astra Superior Stainless. So now we start past number 2. Yeah, Dad was active in the Kennel Club and also in the local church. And my dad was raised Polish Catholic, but he converted to Russian Orthodox because of some friends who were in a Russian Orthodox congregation. So he converted. I guess he got more out of that congregation than the one he grew up in ever gave him. And he had my younger brother and me baptized Russian Orthodox. But soon after, my mother had us all convert to a Lutheran congregation because there was one just literally a few blocks away from where we lived. And I guess she decided that walking to church was more convenient to her than driving miles to an Orthodox service that she detested. See, my mother is the kind of person who gets involved in evangelical cults and stuff. She doesn't actually go to church. She doesn't really believe in God. She just pretends to. But she's a big watcher of Pat Robertson and other fake preachers on TV. My dad always took church involvement much more seriously. So when I was little, and he was still active in the Kennel Club and church and all sorts of other stuff, at Christmas time he used to throw these holiday parties, which of course had lots of food. I loved his Swedish meatballs and his spiced bacon. I don't remember exactly what seasonings he used, but damn. And this brings back some fond memories. But I think Halloween was my dad's second favorite time of year. So I think Easter, Christmas, and Thanksgiving were tied for first. But I remember my earliest Halloween costume, the one I remember, I think, was Woody Woodpecker. Although I think my brother inherited it along with the clown costume. See, my younger brother being a year behind me, he usually got my Halloween costumes as hand-me-downs. But I remember a couple years in a row I was C-3PO. This was about 1983 or so. When Return of the Jedi was released to theaters. And I was still working at Denny's at that point. So that year and the year afterward, I had the C-3PO costume. Did notice a drop of the red stuff on my lather here, but I didn't even feel any nicks or anything. Oops, that's a dryer buzzer going off. Yeah, I'm washing laundry today. Yeah, going out to Mapleside Farms and through drives through the park used to be a family excursion. Usually on weekends. And then primarily it was my dad and me. I was always the closest one to my dad in personality and temperament. So even as things changed in terms of the family dynamic, with my younger brother being his mother's son, and then after he moved out, he pretty much like stayed away. But I'll always remember the places I went with my dad. He used to take us to movies, into places like Cedar Point and Geauga Lake and SeaWorld and the zoo. In fact, my parents were friends with a guy who worked at the zoo who got us tours behind the cages, so to speak. I remember the tigers. We had a tiger named Washington, and then there was a female whom they were breeding to try and increase the tiger population. And Washington was a rather friendly beast. He used to let people go into his cage even when he had meat in there. And then the mother of his offspring also let you do that, but you wouldn't be able to go in if her cubs were present. No, she did not tolerate anyone near her cubs. And I think Washington got transferred to a zoo in New York where he spent the rest of his days. So I think he was more or less on loan to Cleveland Zoo. I think to try and basically breed with the local tigers. And then once that was done, he went back home. Now, this was the Galactic Witch Hazel, by the way. I followed that up with the alum. I'm definitely feeling it going on. It's not stinging or anything, not even a mild zing. I think that might be because of whatever tiny nick I had. But that's probably closed up by now. But yeah, the Symmetry razor, by the way, it's a 3-piece. I don't know if I've showed you this before, but it's got a very nice vintage Art Deco look to it. Very stylish design, nice good grip on it. Diamond crosshatch and barber pole knurling combined. But yeah, very good grip. So not likely to slip out of your fingers, especially for shaving in the shower. Now, if you can shave in the shower, yeah, try saying that 5 times fast, then more power to you. I never had that ability. Stuff always finds a way to slip out of my grasp. So that's why I'm not crazy enough to try and shave in the shower. But if you're the type of person who can maintain a firm grip on a razor and you like to shave in the shower and save water, more power to you. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and apply the aftershave and cologne, also Cider House 5. Very good scent profile. And that scent profile is, according to the website, pipe tobacco smoke, linseed oil, apple cider, dry leaves, and a little bit of earth, I think. Don't quote me on that. When this goes up on the Phoenix website as its seasonal release, you might want to double check. But definitely pipe smoke, linseed oil, apple cider, and dried fall leaves. So now we've got the Star Jelly aftershave. And now last but not least, we're going to apply the deodorant here. Yeah, scents that I like, I tend to go all in on. I've told you that before on the channel. But it's good to remind people of my preferences. All right, so that was today's shave. It's a rather long one, rather nostalgic and a little bit sad, but you know, that's life sometimes. So we've got Cider House 5, Amber Aerolite brush, synthetic bristles, and then Phoenix Symmetry straight bar razor with an Astra Superior stainless blade. So that's pretty much it. Please click on the links below. I only keep my Amazon affiliate links if people buy from there, so please do that. I'll also link to the PAA stuff and my shaving wish list. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things because the algorithm I can't talk, has changed, so you need to actually be interactive and hit that like button and post those comments. But anyway, that's pretty much it for today. Until next time, this is Mike for Blade and Brush, signing off.